Hello everyone, this is Ishan Shah and welcome to Z Interactive. Apart from creating shaders inside 3D Studio Max or creating textures in third-party software like Photoshop or Substance Painter or Mari, we can create or paint directly inside 3D Studio Max using the tool which is called Viewport Canvas tool. So in this lesson 17, we will learn about this tool.
Can you fix me now?
Okay, I'll fix you. I'll put paint over you. There you go. Oh my god.
So let's see how we can paint directly on the objects in the viewport using the viewport canvas. But before doing that, let's see how we can create seams in the Unwrap UVW editor. Creating seams will be really important when you're working on viewport canvas because it will define the seam of the painting area. Okay, and if your seams are not right, your result will not look good. So let's see how we can create seams. I will make a sphere here. Okay, and then let me move it on the base pivot. Here I have it. Let me maximize the viewport and I will turn on the edge faces here so you can see the thing. Now I will go to the modify panel, and inside the modify panel I'll go to the Unwrap UVW. Once I will click on the Unwrap UVW, you will see that there is a green seam here which is already by default created. Now this seems fine, this seems okay, but sometimes what you have a lot of seams. There you have the problem. Okay, so how to see the seams is working? You have to go in the Open UV editor. Okay, and then you will see there is a seam here. By default, it will give it to you a flat seam. So what you need to do is that you have to select it all, and then what you need to do that you have to quick peel it from here. So when you press quick peel, so you will see that this is how your seams look like. Okay, so here you can see these two blue dots. These blue dots here, or blue boxes, you can see is the area which shows where your seam is meeting. Okay, which is this part. Okay, other thing what you can do is that you can select it all and you can normalize it. Okay, by clicking here, so it can fit. Already it is fine on the screen, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so let's see how we can make our own seam if we don't like this one. So let me close this part. Okay, and let me delete this and apply again so we can create our own. Now once you have your new Unwrap, you have to go down in the peel area. In this peel area you will see seams. You can edit the seam. Okay, you can create point-to-point seam, or you can expand the polygon selection to seam. Okay, so what I will use here is that I will use the point to point. So when I will click on the point to point, so I have to choose a point, and you will notice that wherever I'm going, the edge is becoming orangish, you can say, or yellowish. I will click here. Once I have a click, you will see there is a dragging line, a dotted dashed line created. So this is pointing towards the next seam point. So I can click here and you can see like a loop is creating. So I will keep on rotating and keep on clicking the same loop. Okay, I will not change the loop like this, otherwise my seam will be not straight, it will be a little bit angled or tilted or something like that. It's up to you. If you want that, then you do it, but in this case I want a straight loop, so I will keep on following the direction of the loop which I created the first. Now I will click here, and then once I'm done, I press enter on my keyboard. Once you will do that, you will see that there is a plane created here. Okay, now if the plane is created here and I will go to the Open UV editor, you will see this thing is flat. The reason this is flat, you can see this plane, it's because of this plane, and only this part is projecting as a plane, not as two different objects. What I need to do here is that I have to go back here and I have to click on reset peel. So what will reset peel will do? Let's do one thing. Let's press on the quick peel. If I click on the quick peel, okay, it will give me the two seams. Okay, one this one on the top and one this one. Okay, so it will give me these two seams. So I will undo that because I don't want the two seams, I want the new one which I created. Okay, so for that, what I need to do is that I have to click on the reset peel. When I will click on the reset peel, it will give me the peel which I created, but you can see that size is not that right. Okay, I have two, one of the like one is the bottom one and one is the top one, but it's too big, it's not fitting here, which we can easily rescale from the free form. But let's see how we can quickly do that. So what I will do here is that I can deselect this one here, okay, and then go back here so I can be inside the polygon mode. Okay, now you can see if I'm selecting this one, this is the one which is the bottom one, so you can see. Okay, and this is the one which is the top one, but the size is too big, it's not fitting here. So simple, what you can do is you can select it all, you can scale from here, or you can go down and you can click on the normalize. So when I will click on normalize, automatically they will become smaller and they will fit inside this. Now I'm done and I have my own new peel which I created, not the default one. So I hope it's clear how to create seams. Okay, this is simple, but sometimes you have complex objects. So let me do one thing. Let me delete this sphere. I don't want this anymore. Okay, so now what I will do is that I will go to File, Open. Okay, I don't want to save this, and I will open this file, which you can find in the description below. You can download the whole exercise files. There will be all the files will be inside there. Okay, so I will open this up and you can see I have this face over here. Okay, now this face basically, let's see, it have already a UV map. I can go inside the modify list and I will choose Unwrap UVW. Now inside the Unwrap UVW, you can see there are a lot of UVs. The issue here will be that if I will unwrap this and start painting, there will be edges and there will be like you can see hard edges, which will show that these two parts are not connected and it will not look nice. So what I need to do is that I have to keep a minimum you can say a seam. So I will only keep this one. So to do that, I have to go down, okay, take this one point to point, okay, and first of all what I need to do is that I have to deselect the my polygon and click on the edge, so I don't have this whole polygon thing going on. Now what I will do is that I'll take the point to point, okay, and I'll click here, keep on going, click here, move it a little bit here, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, a little bit off first, and then I will press enter on my keyboard. Now you can see that this new blue line is created and the old line is gone. So if I will go to the open UV editor, you can see the whole thing is flat because of this plane, and plus all the old seams are gone. So what I will need to do, what I need to do here is that again I have to press the reset peel, okay, and as soon I will do that, you can see that here, let me uncheck it, the polygon, so I can see those things. You can see that the whole thing here is being peeled off from this area. Okay, my face mapping is unwrapped. Okay, so this line which I created, this seam which I created, it's unwrapped from here to here. You can see that. Okay, so this way I only have one seam, and when I will draw paint on it, it will be fine. There will be no issue here. Okay, I can do one more thing here. I can select this whole thing with the polygon. I will click on the polygon, select the whole thing, and then I will go and back normalize, so it will make it smaller, so it will fit. So it's okay now. Now I will deselect from here, close this. Now other thing what I can do is that I can right click here and collapse all. What it will do is that it will bake the UV unwrap over here. so that it will not take my space or memory, and plus there will be less stack over here. I'll press collapse all, say yes. So already it is there. Okay. Now what I need to do is that I have to paint on it using the viewport canvas. Now what is the viewport canvas basically? So let's see. First of all, what I will do is that I will remove this one from here, so I have enough space for viewport canvas. And then I will go to tools and click on viewport canvas. Now you can see that viewport canvas is here, and now I will stick this viewport canvas on my screen at this stage. Okay. Now, first of all, let's see the interface of the viewport canvas. In the viewport canvas, you will see all these tools. If you have used Photoshop, they all will be familiar to you. This one is for the painting. This one is for erasing. This one is for cloning. This one is for filling. Okay. Gradient, you have blur, sharp, contrast, dodging, burning, smudging. And then these are for the layers. Okay. Now this is the brush like kind of settings. If you can do the radius, opacity, and hardness, there are shortcuts for these two. We will see that too. These are the color settings. Okay. Now this is the brush settings. Whatever color you want to use as an image file, and whatever mask you will use, which will become like your brush tip. Okay. So if you don't want to use it, you can uncheck. I will uncheck both of them. Brush settings. Okay. We will get back into it. All these we'll get back to these settings later on. So what I will do is that when you will start painting, you have to select your object, and then you have to click the paint button or any other button here. When you will click on that, the first thing it will show you is this. Okay. Now whenever you start painting, what you need to do is that, first of all, let's do one thing. Let's click on the render setup and make sure the render is scan line render, so we will not have any issue. Okay. Now what I will do here is that I will go and click on the paint, and as soon as I will click on the paint, it will ask me, your object is not selected. So I have to click on the object, then click on the paint, and then I have to choose base color. You can choose any one of these, but preferably it should be the base color. What is the base color? The color that you want your object to have as a background color. So I will click on the base color. Now it will ask me what should be your texture file size, because you cannot start painting unless you have a texture file. Now if you remember, we have studied the material, the shaders in the last class. Our files are saved wherever we want to save it. Okay, so those we can use it here. So here it's asking us where you want to save your file. So you can create a default preset size, or you can make your own size. If you want bigger, you can type it here. Okay, the size of the texture file, what base color you want. So you can click here. I can pick this color. Maybe I like this one. I will take the dropper. I will click here. I like this to be a base color. Now where I want to save the file, so I will click in the save new textures to. Okay, now here I can save it, and I can choose any one of these files. And just notice here, these are the only options you have. You don't have PSD here. Okay, so just keep in mind there is no PSD here. So I will go here and choose the JPEG and write here my underscore matte material, something like that, and press save. And it will ask you the quality. I will keep it best, large, normal. Okay, then show map in viewport. You can check it, so you can see your map in the viewport. Now what I will do is that I will press OK. Now as soon as I will press OK, you will see that my background color or the base color turned to the one which I showed there. Okay, now one thing that you need to see all the time is your layer dialog. So you can click on the layer dialog and you will see that this is your background layer. So we don't paint on directly on the background layer. Just like Photoshop, you can have some layers. So painting on background layer is not ideal. I can make a new layer. Okay, and I can write a name here. Maybe I will type here lips. Okay, and press OK. And then what I can do is that I can go here, change the color of it. Like maybe I will make it you know, something like a pinkish color here in the red, something like this kind of a color, and press OK. Now I have that color here. You can make it a little bit more darker if you want. Now it's fine. Now I can zoom in a little bit. So now we can paint directly here. Now if you think your brush size is bigger, so what you can do is that you can press Control and Shift on your keyboard and drag your mouse up or down to change the size of it. Okay, so you can see it's getting bigger or smaller. And if you will see here, the border of my brush is very soft. Okay, it's not hard. But if you want to change the hardness, so what you can do is that you can press Control and Alt on your keyboard and move your mouse up and down. So if you will drag it down, it will become very soft. If you will go up, it will become very hard. I will keep it somewhere here. Okay, so this is how you can make the hardness get bigger or smaller with Alt and Control. Okay, with Control and Shift, it will become bigger or smaller. Then if you press Alt and Shift and drag your mouse up or down, so you can see that your brush opacity is changing. Okay, so if you want less opacity, or you know, if you want to blend two layers together, so you can use Alt and Shift to control the opacity. But I don't want that, so I will do something like this, and then I will try to paint here on the lips. Okay, so when I'm done, I can move around my viewport. I can change the viewport direction, and then I can change the size of it. I can go down. Okay, and now if I'm painting on the corner, so what I can do, I can use very less hard, like brush with the very less hardness. Okay, almost what you can do, zero hardness, so it will become soft. So just roughly I'm just drawing here. Okay, so I'm done with the lips part. So this is how you can paint. And maybe if you want something like now you can, what you can do, you can duplicate this layer, or you can add a new layer. Like suppose you want detail, so what you can do is that you can add a new layer and you can type here lips detail. Okay, and then maybe you can change the color to more darker here, and then you can, you know, make some details here like this. Or you can undo also if you want. Okay, but if you do not want to undo it and you want to erase it, you can take the eraser tool and then you can erase some part like this. Okay, so this is how you can change it. Or what you can do here as well is that maybe you want the result to be blur, so you can take the blur and you can blur it like this. Okay, and then if you don't want it to be too blur, less blur, so you can change the value here, blur and sharp. So if you want more blur, you can increase the blur option or decrease the blur option. Okay, here is the contrast, so I can take the contrast, I can change the contrast. As much I will paint over, it will increase the contrast. Dodge, I can dodge the color. Okay, so you can see that it's becoming brighter. I can burn the color, so you will see it will become darker. Okay, and I can smudge the color. Suppose I want to move it a little bit down, just like this. Okay, so that you can do with this also. So many things you can do here. Just like if you know how to use the Photoshop, it's the same method to use here. Okay, it's very interesting, very nice tool. Now, suppose I want some tattoos on his face. So what I can do, I can make a new layer here. Okay, call it tattoos. Let me zoom out here. and then I will zoom in this part. Maybe I want some tattoos here. So tattoos, I don't want to draw. I want an external file and I want to create a tattoo here. So what I can do is that I can use a color like an image, like a bitmap image here to create a tattoo. So I can click on use, click here and choose any image. Maybe I want something like this kind of a like grayish concrete sort of thing. Okay, so once I have chosen this, I will click on the paint, and then when I will go on the face, now you can see the file which I chose is there. Okay, so I can simply paint over here. Now suppose, because I want to create a tattoo, so to create a tattoo it should be like a tattoo mask or something. So let me undo this. So I can use a mask. Now the mask right now is this kind of a brush stroke. Okay, so this kind of a brush stroke, if I will paint here, close this, so you can see that how the brush stroke is. Okay, so it is creating something like this kind of an illusion. You can see the border of the brush stroke. Okay, so it's like actually blending nicely. Okay, so this is how you can use a brush stroke, different kind of brush strokes. But if you want to make it look like a tattoo, so you can use this as a stencil or as a mask. Like suppose I will choose the star mask. Okay, and if I click here, okay, and then move a slide down, so you can see this kind of a tattoo I can have on my screen. Okay, so this is how you can have like a tattoo, whatever you want, and then you can delete it, you can have it on your screen, so it's up to you. So this is how you can make different kind of like masks on your object. Okay, so now other thing here we have is the brush setting. Okay, now let me change this back to this one, and this one I will change it to color so you can easily see that it will produce something like this on your screen. Okay, let me undo it. So what I will do is that I will paint on the head over here in the tattoo layer. Okay, and once I'm done, I can also play with the opacity here. I can replace the opacity of this layer as much I want. You can see that it's getting lower and lower, but I don't want. I will keep it 100, and then I can blend it with the blending modes. Any one of these blending mode you can choose. Okay, like you can use the overlay, or you can use the hard light, you can use the multiply. Okay, but I will keep it normal. So this is also what you can do here. Now let me undo it. Okay, and then what we will do here is that we will see the brush settings here in detail. Now in the brush settings you can see you have here two different things: hit normal and from screen. Now hit normal means it will take the surface of the head or your whatever object is there, and depending on its contour it will follow that shape. So you can see that as I'm moving my brush, it is following the contour of that object, like the face, the lips, okay, the ears. But if I will change it to from screen, so my viewport, like whatever my viewport is, whatever my point of view is, that it will paint flat from that part. Okay, so it is painting flat, as from my viewport, and it's not creating any kind of a you can say like a contouring. Okay, now other than that, let me keep it hit normal. We have color and we have mask. Okay, now in the color we have the same thing as the mask, so it will work same as this is the mask, this is the color. So in the color we have here fit to brush. Now if I will not choose fit to brush, so what will happen is that it will give me the file size of its actual file size. Okay, if it is smaller it will be small, if it is too big the image, it will be too big here. So better to keep it fit to brush, so it will be exactly the same size of brush I'm using. Now tiling, there is no tiling. I have unchecked the tiling, so there is no tiling now. But if I want tiling, I can click on, so it will produce like a tile. So you can see that it's producing a tile. Okay, like it is repeating the image. But if I don't want, I can keep it none, and now there will be no tiling over here. Okay, now across like tiling across screen, If I will do, it will give me the border as well. It will not give me the hard edges or like soft edges. So you can see that I have the borders also. You can see the border around it. Okay, so this is how you can get the border, but better to keep it as it is, like none. Okay, same thing will be applied on the brush, so it will be on the brush. So let me delete this layer and make a new layer so we can see the other parts. So this is how the brush image settings work. Now we have options over here. Now option here is the base color map. So already we have the base color map if you want to paint on the base color map or whatever. So already we have checked in, we have saved like texture, or we have brush preview. So like we don't have to like worry about this randomizer. Now what does the randomizer do? At this point, if I'm painting, you can see the brush stroke is constant. Okay, there is no randomness in it. So if I will take my brush radius and make it checked, so what will happen? At some point my brush size will be bigger, okay, minimum 2, and at some point it will be maximum 30. So it will be becoming bigger or smaller randomly on my object. Okay, so if I will do that, so you can see that becoming bigger or smaller like this. So if I don't want a too harsh result, what I can do is that I can make it 20 minimum, maximum 30. So the smallest will be 20, the maximum will be 30. So you can see this is how it will be working. Let me keep it 2. Now I will uncheck this one. Let's go to the opacity. Same thing with the opacity. Okay, when I will paint over, so some strokes will be completely zero, like transparent, and some will be completely visible, like 100% visibility. So you can see that this is happening here. So this is a good way of creating a random texture on your face. Okay, now eraser option, same thing as the opacity, but it will work with the eraser tool. Okay, now hardness. Now what is the hardness? My hardness of the brush at some part will be too hard, at some part it will be too soft. So here if I will paint it, you can see that some are getting hard strokes and some are getting soft stroke. Okay, now if I go to spacing, so what it will do is that it will give a space between each stroke, minimum this much and maximum this. So if I will do that, so you can see I am getting some strokes near and some strokes far away. Okay, now scatter. So how it will scatter all over the work, like the face, like randomly. Okay, like suppose if I will do here, so you can see some are getting like left, right, some are getting like more like randomness on top and bottom. Okay, so you can check all of them or few of them. I will check these only and then try to print, and you can see how I'm getting the result. It's good if you want to paint some randomness, like a like a texture on your face or something like that. Now if I don't want to use the color here, so I can use a color randomness. Okay, so I can use any kind of color. Suppose I'm making like a little bit like a texture on the face as a skin texture. Okay, so maybe I can take a brownish color, something like that. Okay, so once my color is there, so I can go on the screen. Okay, and I can paint, and you can see the colors are changing the hue, or you can say the opacity as well. Okay, so in this way, all I can do is that I can check this the spacing also and opacity also. You can see that this is how I will get the result. Okay, so something like this. So this is how you can do the any kind of painting on your scene. So this is how you would do whatever you want. Okay, so this is the paint behavior. Let me uncheck all of them and close it. Okay, now tablet pressure is if you're using a tablet. Okay, if you're using Wacom, Huion, or Xpen, so you can use like the tablet pressure option here. Okay, so load and save setting, if you want to load a texture or save the texture file, so this is for that. Okay, so now you can see that if I want to change the opacity, and you can see it's changing, and I can paint over here. Okay, so I hope you have understood about this. Okay, and let's see how we can save this. Okay, now once you have this and you want to save it, simply what you need to do is that you need to right click on your screen. Okay, and once you do that, it will ask you, do you want to continue painting? So you can press continue. But if you want to save it, okay, so now if you want to save it, you can save it as PSD file. Before, when we were saving it in the beginning, there was no PSD option. But if you will click on save as PSD file, what it will do is that it will save this whole texture, and then it will bring up back your background and everything will be gone, so you have to bring it up again. But if you don't want that to happen, so the best way to save is to press on save as PSD and replace texture in material, because what it will do is that in the material editor it will create a new material for you and it will replace that with this one. So it will be like you were working on that actual material. Okay, so it will not remove your material from there. So I will click here, save as PSD and replace texture in material. Okay, and then you can see that it is PSD here, and you can write the name of it, like my file or something, like whatever you want, and you can press here. So once you will save it, okay, so you can see that now it is baked. Okay, so once it is baked, you can press M on your keyboard. Okay, and then you can take this pick material object, click on it, and here it is. Okay, so once you have this here, this is actually your file. Okay, so if I will click here, press view image, and this is what we have saved actually. Okay, so I hope it is now clear how you can save it. But if you want to continue now, okay, so what you can do is that you can just click on here in the paint button. Okay, first you need to select this paint button, you can click, you will get all these layers again. Okay, you can continue with this, or you can make a new layer and work with it. Now there is one more option here, and that is to paint on the 2D view. Now what is a 2D view? Here, if you will see underneath the colors, you have 2D view. If I click on the 2D view, so you can see that I got my UV unwrap here. So you can see that I can directly paint over here as well. So if I will zoom in, okay, and if I want to reduce the size of this, okay, and basically I have to turn on this color from here. Okay, and maybe I will use this brush. Okay, and you can paint here. So you can see that when I'm painting, so it is painting directly over here. Okay, so this is my lip, and you can see that if I will go here and paint over there, so you can see how it is working. So this is how you can also paint from the 2D viewport. So you can see that this is the eyes part. Okay, closer, you can see this is the eye part here, and you can easily draw something here, whatever you want to do here. Okay, so this is how you can have your 2D view to be painted on your screen. Now I have reset this head again just to show you how we can also work in Photoshop and then see the changes inside the 3D Studio Max. So simple, what I will do is that I will just do some kind of changes here, a little bit on the face itself. Okay, so let me zoom in, and here I will draw something here, and you can see that. Okay, and then I can change the color to something else. Okay, and do something, any kind of a change. Okay, so just randomly I'm drawing on the screen. So you can see that this is what kind of a like some paint strokes I have it. Now in the layers dialog, you can say I have the layer 1. You can write here random brush or whatever you want to name it. I'm just renaming so that we can have some different kind of layers here. Okay, So here I will write emerald strokes. Okay, now because I reset it, so I have to save it again. So I will right click here. Again, I will choose the same option, save as PSD and replace. Okay, so how about I replace it with my existing file? I will click over here and I will overwrite it with it. So yes, I want to overwrite, and then I will have this file. Now let's open that PSD file which is saved inside the Photoshop and see how it will bring the change here. Okay, so now in the Photoshop, what I will do, I will bring this same file and drop it here. And you can see that this file is opened. Let's go to the layer. And the layer that we made inside the 3D Studio Max are here. So that's a good linking over here. So directly linked here inside the Photoshop, okay, from 3D Studio Max. So now if you will see these marks, these strokes over here in the 3D Studio Max, so you can see this part is basically on the cheek side, okay. So if I go here in Photoshop and draw over something here, so it will be on that part. Okay, so I will make a new layer and I can, type something here. Like something like a tattoo or something. I will type here. Okay, make it a little bigger, rotate it. Okay, and put it right over here. And this layer, what I will do, I will remove it. Okay, once I have this, I can use any one of these in the tattoo layer. I can use any one of these blending mode. Okay, suppose I think multiply will be fine, and a little bit opacity I will lower it down. Now simple, what I will do is that I will go to file and save. Now this PSD file is automatically saved. Now I will go back to my 3D Studio Max. So and soon I will go in the 3D Studio Max, you can see it is updated over here. So as I will do it in Photoshop, it will automatically update over here. Okay, so this is a beauty of the Viewport canvas, link between it and Photoshop. Okay, so I hope you have understood about how you can paint directly over your objects, okay, and how you can do link between Photoshop, okay, how you can use the brushes and all these tools that we have over here. Okay, so guys, if you have liked this tutorial, you can click on the like button, and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon. There are a lot of interesting tutorials coming up and a lot of new concepts, new videos coming up in future. Okay, and also please watch all my videos till end so you can understand each and every process what I'm explaining, and watch it online because I need watch time hours to complete my other upcoming sessions. So guys, thanks a lot for supporting me. I really appreciate your support, which keeps on moving me forward. So take care of yourself, and see you in the next lesson. Until then, enjoy your life and stay safe.